This picture is of happier times when Bob and Wanda Phillips took their 3 kids, Bobby, David, and Marianne, on a family vacation. That happiness was shattered when Bobby and David were found murdered in their home, one shot to death, the other beaten with an axe. The killers cleaned up the scene and tried to set the house on fire to destroy evidence. Neighbors saw a red Mitsubishi in the driveway. Police investigated but never found anyone with a motive to kill these 2 young men.
They assume, well, if somebody came into their house and did this, then there must be something going on in that family that we don't know about. Well, that's not the case. They got the wrong house.
It wasn't until 6 years later, Marianne and her mother learned through the DA that police had suspected Jackie Wright was the killer and that the murders were a case of mistaken identity.
They just kept us in the dark, making us wonder who would do this to us.
2 years before Bobby and David were killed, a couple named Tanya and Coy Wilkerson were murdered in their Tulsa home. The killers had tried to destroy evidence by setting the house on fire, and a red car was seen there, too. One suspect committed suicide. Jackie Wright was the other. Police took the case to the DA, but it wasn't filed for a lack of evidence. Tanya's parents, Jim and Jill Phillips, were relentless in their pursuit of Jackie Wright, doing everything they could to get him tried for their daughter's murder. Police believe Wright decided the only way to stop the angry parents was to kill them. Jim and Jill Phillips lived in Owasso. His first wife was named Wanda. Bob and Wanda Phillips, the parents of Bobby and David, lived on Oswego. So police believe the killers murdered the wrong Phillips by mistake.
The only reason he showed up at our house was because he wasn't put in prison for the first murders that he committed.
8 years after Tanya and Coy Wilkerson were killed, Jackie Wright finally did stand trial for their murders and was sentenced to life without parole. Wanda and Marianne believe had police pursued Wright sooner in Bobby and David's murder case, he could have been tried for those murders as well.
If they had gone to Jackie Wright and just investigated just a little bit on their hunch, they would have caught him red-handed. I have no doubt.